Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, droids, and aliens. Tonight, we will be doing Solo, a Star Wars story, the 2018 installment of Star Wars, and the second anthology film in the series. And sadly, it came after Droids, which we will be doing next week as a favor to a friend on Star Wars discussions, so look out for that, I guess. It's not as good as it sounds. Basically, Star Wars Solo is a space western about Han Solo finding out how the world works. It basically is about his first gang that he joined, the first job he ever did, how he met Lando, and how he met Chewbacca on Mabon, and how he came to control the Millennium Falcon, and how they gained a new navigational system, which C-3PO is talking about in Episode 5. And lastly, his first love, which, guys, we've heard about all of Leia's first loves in the comics and all the books, but we never hear about Han's, so here we go. It was directed by Ron Howard, also known for How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the live-action movie, and Cinderella Man, produced by Kathleen Kennedy, Allison Shermer, and Simon Emanuel, written by Jonathan Kasdan and his son Lawrence Kasdan, music by John Powell and John Williams, cinematography by Bradford Young, edited by Pietro Scalia, and onto locations. We have Folly Power Station, Hampshire, England, also known as the Imperial Shipyard, which was actually created from a shipyard in New Jersey, in New York, and in Pennsylvania. We have Mont Piena, Italy, which is Vandor Mountaintop, where we see the train. Tre Chieme di Lavorando, Italy, which is the Vandor Peaks, where Han Solo gets the shit beat out of him by Beckett. We have the Museum of the Great War, Perona, France, which is the game hall where we meet Lando for the first time. Canada de la Barca, Spain, which is Severin Refinery, where we meet Enfys Nest and find out who or what it is. Or they are. We have the cliff near Varil, Monso, Spain, which is Severin Cliff, where Beckett gets shot and Han Solo shoots first, for the very first time. And Pinewood Studios, Buckinghamshire, England, which is most of the scenes that I have not mentioned yet. But you knew that already. Alden Ehrenreich is Han Solo, Woody Harrelson as Tobias Beckett, also known for Tallahassee in Zombieland and Zombieland 2, the Take Back, which is coming this year. And Hamish Abernathy in the Hunger Games series. He was pretty funny as a drunk, people. Emilia Clarke is Kira, also known for Sarah Connor in Terminator Genesis. Donald Glover is Lando Calrissian, also known for Aaron Davis in Spider-Man Homecoming, and Simba in the new Lion King movie coming out this year. Thandie Newton as Val, also known for Yvette in Interview with the Vampire, and Nia Nordhoff Hall in Mission Impossible 2. Jon Favreau voices Rio Durant, who's known for directing movies like Elf, Zephyr, and both Iron Man 1 and 2. We also have Phoebe Waller-Bridge as L337. Joonis Suotamo as Chewbacca, our Hungarian replacement for Matthew Peters. God rest his soul, and may the Force be with him. Paul Bettany is Drayden Voss, also known for Jarvis and Vision in the MC universe. Aaron Kelman as Enfys Nest, and onto my favorite scenes, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to get good. Sorry for that little Syndrome reference, but we have the Kessel Run and Kira kills Dryden. Basically, imagine you're in huge trouble after coming out of a coaxium mine on Kessel. You are against time and space. First, a Star Destroyer comes out of the giant maw over Kessel, ready to attack you. And then, you're flying off, fighting against a TIE fighter, and moving into the maw. A bad, deadly, gorgeous wormhole right next to Kessel, which we've seen in a lot of video games, but never like this. Guys, basically let's start with the maw. The coloring of the lightning and oh god, the amazingly done black hole. It's unstoppable, sucking in everything that comes in contact with it, including the giant serpent that tries to go after the Millennium Falcon. It kind of made me think of Starry Night, but way more dangerous. Then let's go off to the scene with the Star Destroyer. I mean, the lightning, the blue light coming off it, and all the clouds. Oh my god, it's gorgeously done! And all the TIE fighters coming off it. I mean, we even get to see some TIE variant that we never get to see. It actually was a concept art for a TIE fighter years ago during the first movie, but they thought it was a little bulky. And just all the lighting in this scene. And then, lastly, the use of the coaxium on the reactor. It gave me flashbacks to that one scene in Fast and Furious when, I forget his name. I've never really seen the movies, just this scene. But he uses the nitrous on his car, and it's just, you see the whole effect on the engine throughout the interaction. It's just seconds, and it's just masterfully done. But here, it's just the blue going through it all, and then the Millennium Falcon just shooting off through the mall. Just so much speed. I've never seen anything faster and more gorgeous. But my god. These are some scenes you've got to see for yourself if you haven't seen this movie. This is what a lot of people should have come to see. The masterful scenes done in this movie. And now, the next one. Kira kills Dryden Voss. It's a good fight scene. You'd think Kira was going to kill Han Solo in this movie, despite everyone knowing what most likely would have happened if Han Solo died here. But just how she kills him. I mean, she catches his blade, his double-sided vibro dagger, into her sword and swings it back into his chest. And it's so reminiscent of the scene where Obi-Wan cuts Darth Maul in half. It's just gorgeously done, and the face on him, it's just like, oh my god, what have I done? I mean, she used his Anasazi or whatever it's called against him, and it's just so reminiscent of that famed scene on Naboo in the reactor core. It's just masterfully choreographed and well done. And the scene after that, the whole reveal that Darth Maul is the leader of Concord Dawn, which it was kind of obvious because it had to be him. It had to have been a callback to the Clone Wars and the Shadow Collective controlled by him. I mean, who else would have been friends with the Pikes? I mean, anyone who's seen the Clone Wars could have seen it coming. And if you notice the double-bladed stuff and the lines on Dryden's face, just how close it is to tattoos from a Zabrak. We had a budget of $275 to $300 million. We have a box office of $392.9 million, which sadly, yes, it covered all the expenses they had on what they spent for the original movie, but not by much. And sadly, I wish more people had seen it like I did. You can see the golden fertility idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark on a table in Dryden's meeting room. So, huge callback to Indiana Jones, one of George Lucas's movies. The coaxium explosion on Vondor was inspired by underwater explosions shot at 120,000 frames per second. Beckett wears the guard disguise from Return of the Jedi that we see Lando first wear. It was the first Star Wars movie to have nothing to do with the Jedi or mention of them in any way. And basically, it's also the first one where we start in complete darkness and just watch as sparks fly as Han Solo starts up the speeder and we watch him shoot off as he's being chased by stormtroopers. Dryden was originally supposed to be a dinosaur bird-like figure, which I'm pretty sure we've seen a lot in Star Wars, and it would not have worked out. I probably would have been laughing every time I saw him. Beckett was almost played by Christian Bale, which would have made this a very dark movie if you've seen the Dark Knight trilogy. The Imperial March in a major key is played during the recruitment film at the Corellian spaceport, just like which was also used in Rebels during Empire Day. In the closet, Kira wears the exact same cape Lando does in Empire Strikes Back when he goes to meet Han Solo. Eldon Ehrenreich has a collection of old Han Solo toys, which actually pretty much calms me because I wasn't really afraid of him being Han Solo in this, but it also shows that he's a huge Star Wars fan and he would not want to ruin the image of Han Solo or make any mistakes in this movie that would hurt the fan base. Warwick Davis cameos as Weasel from Episode 1. Lando's full name is Landonis Calrissian. Quax Talistil, the Pike Syndicate's site administrator, first appears in Star Wars: The Clone Wars as one of the many ambassadors of the Shadow Collective. And onto my opinion. Basically, I love the movie, and it was one of the few people that actually saw it in theaters. And actually, I believe that was the time that the theater had a... No, wait, that was, I think, a different movie. But I loved it when I saw it on the big screen. It was gorgeously done. And I was kind of sad to hear that so many did not want to see it just because of The Last Jedi. I mean, they're two different movies. I mean, I didn't mind The Last Jedi, but to skip out on a Star Wars movie over it, I didn't think it would be that bad. especially with the whole splitting of the fan base. But to boycott this just because of one movie, I find it very sad. I feel they did a lot right when conveying the story of Han Solo, and they did take a lot from his original origin story. I mean, they didn't put him on Kashyyyk with Chewbacca raising him like in the original story, but they did have the Kessel Run in it, which I've been waiting to see for years on TV, on movie, or the big screen, which I've never read the book, sorry guys, but I've always heard really good things about the Kessel Run, and I was happy to finally get to see it. It definitely could, I definitely could see Eldon Ehrenreich as a younger Han Solo, and I could see his character growing up into the famed smuggler we know today. I mean, he shot first, and basically, yeah, he was the hopeful young child that you'd see in you'd kind of feel Luke would be more akin to, but here, it shows how his hopes are dashed, and how he learns to trust less people, and I really want to see a sequel to this. I mean, I want to know more about the Concord Dawn, about Darth Maul in this era. I mean, it's in between Rebels and the Clone Wars, and just want to see the deterioration. And with Han Solo, I really want to see that job where he drops everything when the Empire comes after him, or any missions before that. But yeah, I could definitely see him as a younger Harrison Ford. The effects of the lighting and color used during the scenes, especially the Kessel Run scene, made the movie beautifully done, and the characters were well played. I mean, a lot of people give L3 a lot of flack. I didn't really like her that much, yeah, but she did serve her purpose, just like K2SO. K2SO was a very snarky droid in Rogue One. Thank God we'll be getting to him soon. But basically, she was well utilized during the attack on Kessel, where she created that droid revolution, which, yeah, it cost her her life. It was stupid on her part, but she did have her uses. I mean, she got them through the mall, or her brain did, and I kind of liked the interaction between her and Lando. I mean, I didn't like her as a character, but she was good for Lando and Han to build off of, and she had her funny moments in parts, like the scene where she's talking to Kira about how she loves Lando. My one grievous is L3. She did seem really preachy. I forgot to mention that. She just talked so much about the revolution of the droids and the rights, and I find her akin to feminists this day, where they'd rather have the men at the bottom right now, a lot of them, and you know who you are, and she was really preachy, and it got annoying at parts, but again, they could build off her, and that's all you really need her for in this movie. But yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10. It did what it came to do, and it was masterfully used. I love this movie. It's raced its way up to number 1, right above episode 3 for me, and I just really can't find that much wrong with it. I don't hate it. I do love it, and sue me. I mean, I got to see it on the big screen, and it was a huge impact on me. I found the comedy funny, and most of the movie I found myself, and this was like the 5th time I watched it, I found myself smiling throughout the whole movie, or a lot of the parts. I enjoyed the actor who played Beckett. I've always enjoyed him in Zombieland. I've never seen any of the other characters, but they played their parts really well, and I can't wait to see more from them in the Star Wars universe, especially the new Chewbacca, who will be in the next movie. So yeah, 10 out of 10. We'll see you next week with Droids, the 80s and very first Star Wars TV show next to Ewoks. And so yeah, don't forget to carry your coaxium with you, and we'll see you next week. Good night, goodbye, and have a great night.